You went on the Tucker Carlson show,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and you said, I'm going to quote you. You said, and just like that, I'm into politics.
Yeah.
So I love politics, but it's taboo for me now because it drove me absolutely insane. I would go to sleep at night. I couldn't sleep. So Kenny and myself had a look in the mirror, and I'm not out of it. I just don't comment on it anymore. I'm excited you were talking about it. But what was it like to go on the Tucker Carlson show? You went on there. That was awesome.
Yeah, it hasn't come out. But I went at the very beginning of the year. I went with my sister to a Turning Point event called AmFest in Phoenix, and that was in December. And I posted about it.
Yeah.
And it, of course, looked like a MAGA Trump rally because it's all red, white, and blue. And, you know, like that's just what it looks like. So everybody just kind of seemed to think I was losing my mind or some kind of radical. And it's like, when did saying I love my country become radical? And so, so it kind of fired me up. And I feel like, you know, so that's AmFest. And Tucker was one of the guys that spoke at AmFest. And so I've been connected with him, and I was supposed to do his show back when he was still at Fox. And then it was scheduled last year. And then something came up. I was supposed to do it maybe in Maine where he has a house. That didn't work out. It ended up getting canceled. So when I met him and his people, it was like, oh, you know, he was even better in person. Like he's even better in person. And so after that, the team was like, oh my God, that was so great. Like, we've got to get you on the show. And I said, this, you know, sooner the better. Like as the year goes on, I get more busy. And so this was that like late December. And then I was doing the show January 3rd. So I flew out on the 2nd and did his show on the 3rd. So so it was a quick turnaround. They're like, oh, we love you. We got to get him on your show too. So so I've got that somewhere in my back pocket at some point in time, hopefully. But he was just great. Like he's just great. And he has this like childlike wonderment in interviews, you know, it's like, he's like got this like, really, you know, like really like yeah, like he gets really into it. You know, he's like surprised and he has like this genuine, like, you know, refreshing sort of, you know, there's no like, oh, I knew that or jadedness or judgment. It's just kind of like curiosity. It's like this wonderment of a human. And I think that's what makes him a great interview. And he also really does a good job of continuing to ask questions to understand. He'll be like, oh, I don't get it. What do you mean? You know, and he really makes you kind of peel away until he gets it, which is probably pretty good for everybody else getting it too. So, so yeah, so he's a really cool guy. I felt very cool when I got his cell phone number. I was like, oh my God.
No, yeah. Well, I like him a lot. So I had to back out of it because I was going crazy. Because anyway, I won't go there. But I got to say this: when I was on social media about politics, it was a war, and I would engage in it because sometimes I like to fight, and I think everybody does. But Darrell Waltrip said something to me I'll never forget because you know, he's a little older than me, he's a little wiser. He says, when you get into politics, you know you're going to lose half your friends. What do you think about him saying
Maybe half
that?
my followers too. You never know. I definitely, when I post about politics stuff, you see some drop in that, but then you get some back because, you know, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So I'd say the same thing works with friends.
Good point.
You know, you might drop some friends, but you're going to pick some up too, because you're going to find more of your people, and those are going to be, it's going to make you happier anyway.